hyaluronic acid, and that's my dog. Hello and welcome to another episode of Sunscreen Saturday. It's probably going to post on Sunday. We'll see. It's Saturday now, but I need to do this, put on my makeup, go run some errands, and I don't think it takes me a while to edit things, so I don't think it's going to be up today, but tomorrow. Today I am doing something new. This is Olay, which is a drugstore brand. They have two new sunscreens. This is the mineral sunscreen. They have another one that is full of all the ickies, and I decided to get the mineral. This is $38 from a drugstore brand. I think that's a little crazy. It doesn't have any titanium dioxide. It is zinc oxide, 17.5%. That's a lot. And I'm sensitive to zinc. Then fourth ingredient is glycerin, which is a very inexpensive ingredient. And towards the bottom, I mean the last 3 or 4 is niacinamide and tocopherol. So I don't really see the reason for this to be $35, $38 really. It's $40, right? This is what it looks like. Got a little pump, and I'm going to pump out what I think is a 1/4 teaspoon, which is what you need to get your face and neck. And I'm going to say this is probably it. Moves around just a little bit. It feels kind of soft. I put on my skincare and let that sink in for about 5 minutes. And it's kind of thick. This might be something I have to put on in 2 layers. I can't determine. I think there's a little bit of a scent in here. And so far, the whiteness is not abating. This is very creamy. So it has just a creamy feeling to it. Like, I don't think, if it stays like this, it won't dry my skin, but what are the chances it'll stay like this? And as usual, we're going to let this set up and then put on foundation and see how that works, and then come back in a couple of hours to see how it works with my foundation. And, you know, that may not happen because it gets dark so early. So, it's white. Just gonna see if I can work on this. I mean, why would I expect anything different when it's 17.5% zinc? I probably should have left my hair tied up. Okay, let me get this off my hands, and I'm going to tie up my hair. And I'm just going to kind of work this in with my fingers. And this is SPF 40. No, it's not. It's SPF 30. So that's not a lot. So this is actually kind of more ideal for winter months, I suppose, depending on you. For me, I don't like to be outside when it's really, really hot. So it's almost like I could do a 30 in the summer because I know I'm not going to be out much. And in the cooler months, I'm more inclined to be outside. And that's probably when I need a 50. But you do you. I mean, I generally do 50 every day because most of my sunscreens are a 50. And the white has abated pretty much. I mean, there's a little bit there. When I'm looking in my monitor here, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of white there. And I'm just going to give this a second. It feels like it is setting up pretty quickly. I'm just going to give it another minute. In other words, I'm going to look for my cap, and then we're going to go on with foundation. All right, my face is beginning to tingle. Yay! I just find zinc oxide to be incredibly drying and irritating for me personally. I'm going in with my Makeup Forever, which is what I love and what I tend to use when I'm doing my sunscreen tests, because you should, I don't know, use the same thing every time so you can get an idea. It won't be like, well, was it my foundation? In conjunction with this is the foundation I use the most, and I am putting on 2 pumps, which is what I usually do. And I also usually put it on with my fingers. And let's see what is going to happen. It goes on really smoothly. Now, for some sunscreens, I feel like I need to let it set up for 10 minutes or so. This one felt like it was setting up right away. So much so that I didn't want to wait too much longer before putting on my foundation, because you don't want your skin to be dry when you put on your foundation. But I don't know, it's a little janky. It's a little janky around, a little streaky around the nose. And, maybe I should have waited a little bit longer. It's not janky all over the place. Okay, so it has a very emollient feeling, very emollient. It is like a cream, but not a thick cream, so think of something creamy, like whipped cream, but it doesn't have a whipped texture to it. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's creamy, but not a thick cream. Definitely creamy. I'm not going to say the word creamy anymore for a minute. And definitely emollient in its feeling. So that's not a bad thing at all, because usually I find minerals to be very, very uncomfortable for me. So I am feeling tingling. I'm feeling some, it doesn't feel great. And it's kind of moving. It's like around here, right around here, right around here. Yeah, I'm not really liking that. It's like needles. But again, I am sensitive to minerals, and super darn shiny. While I felt that this was setting up pretty quickly, I could feel that tightening, which indicated to me that the water in this was beginning to evaporate and it was beginning to adhere to the skin. That's why I went in with my foundation so quickly. Once these are on together, I don't feel like it is set. Foundation to the touch feels like it's not set up, even though there's a little bit of tightening going on, which to me indicates that it is setting up. I got a feeling this shine is not going to go away. It's going to be a high shine situation. But the white faded considerably, even though there was a whiteness about the face. And, you know, if you have rosacea or something like that, you want that whiteness, you're going to get it. But it's not white like some of the other things that I tried, where it's just, you have to wear some foundation. All right, you guys, it's been a while since I've done a sunscreen. I will be back in a few minutes. I do feel like this definitely needs to set up. Okay, it has been just a few minutes later, and I am continuing to feel a little bit of tightening, and I can't imagine it's not set up, even though it doesn't feel set up. It feels a teeny bit tacky. So I'm going to use my brand new brush from Surat. I feel a little guilty about this, I'm not going to lie. This was $250, which is insane. But I did get 20% off, if that helps at all. I have really coveted this. I really wanted it for a long time, and I'm not sure how I feel about actually having it, to tell you the truth, because that's a lot of money for a brush, and I'm afraid to use it. I can see that, oh, it's so beautiful. The sun is backlighting it right now, and I can see how beautifully put together these hairs are. But I also feel like when my face is wet, I'm about to ruin the hairs. But we definitely need to powder. I don't feel like this brush is something that you sweep on. So I'm just kind of because of the shape. The ferrule is round, you know, it's not like a pinched ferrule where you can just swipe. And because it's so dense, I'm slightly afraid that I will move my makeup. So this is my first time using it, and I just have to kind of figure out the best way to use it. So it's mattifying me just fine. The By Terry is not a mattifying powder, I find. It just takes off the edge, and the shine will be back momentarily, but at least I feel that I can go in with, yeah, there's still radiance there, but I feel like I can go in with a powder blush now. I don't know if having a brush this expensive makes sense for me, because it seems like for me, it kind of makes it precious, which means I won't use it. That's how I think. So let's go in with the Dior. This is the holiday collection, which has a beautiful little snowflake on it. And it's just a, you know, it's just a pink with sparkles. I hope I have that on evenly, and I don't feel like it's gunky on my brush, so that is a good thing. Okay, I think I'm going to stop right here. I've given it enough tests, so let's go over it overall. This is almost $40, which is a lot. For the drugstore, this is more like a Sephora price. Ingredient-wise, I don't really see it. I've got to be honest with you. There's really no reason for this to be almost $40. 17.5% zinc oxide. There's no titanium dioxide. There's a couple of fatty alcohols in here. Glycerin, I believe, is the fourth ingredient, and way at the bottom, and I mean in the last three, is niacinamide and tocopherol. So it's not special enough to warrant this kind of price. It does leave the face a little bit white. You saw how it went on. It sunk in and started to dissipate a little bit, worked it in a little bit with my hands, and pretty much dissipated. There was still a white cast, but not so much that you couldn't just put this on and leave the house, I think. If you don't mind being that shiny, you could powder that if you wanted to. I felt like it was setting up pretty quickly because I felt a little bit of tightening, that the water was evaporating, and I thought that meant, okay, we're setting up. So I went in very quickly. I think it was just maybe 2 or 3 minutes with this, the usual foundation that I do. It got a little swirly around the nose. It was like, it was almost as if these two were blending together instead of this was on top of this, if that makes sense. So my conclusion for that is I would suggest letting this set up for a few minutes more, but it does set up faster than many other sunscreens that I have. Not all of them, but I was surprised how quickly it felt like it was setting up. It's only an SPF 30, so do with that information what you will. It does have this very creamy nature about it. It's not a heavy cream. It's not like Lala cream or like Charlotte Tilbury's moisturizer. Those are like almost, well, balmy. A Lala cream, a thick cream. Charlotte Tilbury's is almost like a balm. This is truly creamy and feels nice on the skin. However, if you are oily, you might not like this feeling. I also, because I think that zinc oxide is drying, this kind of makes up for the dry nature of it. So if you're normal, you might find it a little uncomfortable at first, but after it sets up, you'll probably be okay because they kind of weigh each other out. I'm just feeling like I'll use this for sure. Oh, look at my tacky bra straps. I will use this for sure, but I just don't know that this is something I will repurchase. I don't feel that there is enough special to pay $40 for this, for me. All right, you guys, I am back. It is about 4 hours later, and there's no more light in here, so I have my light set up, and I really hope it looks decent so I can start shooting a little bit later on in the day. But let's move on to this. A little bit about me. I'm 58. My skin is, I consider it on the normal range with a tendency. It can get dehydrated and a little dry, but I am not dry and flaky. When I touch my skin, it feels soft. It doesn't feel dry, generally speaking. And I prefer Korean and Japanese sunscreens. I prefer the sunscreens with the next generation sun filters. It performs well with the foundation, and I didn't really see any problem. I do feel that you need to put this on and let it set up. It feels like it's setting up, but it's not quite there. Otherwise, it gets a little swirly and you have to spend some time on it. I do feel a little bit dehydrated. The tingling went away pretty soon after I turned off the camera. And I was outside breaking down boxes. So the reason I'm telling you this is the boxes have been outside for a couple of weeks. They're dusty. When you break them down, little pieces of dust probably flew into my face and kind of attached, and that could be why I feel a little bit dehydrated. It doesn't feel dry to the touch though. Would I buy this again? I wouldn't, because I have other things that I like better that are not $40. I think $40 is Sephora range. I mentioned that before. I like the Versed better. I like the My Shell better. I like the Blueberry better. I'm not sure they still make that, but that's only titanium dioxide. It's not the better filter of the two. Zinc covers the wider spectrum than titanium dioxide, but that one is so much more comfortable to me. So I'm not in love with zinc stuff, but as zinc goes, it's not that bad. But I just think it's too much money, honestly. I think I covered it all. What it looks like, what it feels like, how long to wait. I'd wait 8 minutes or so before putting on the foundation to let it set up. It's lasted well. There's, it's okay. It's okay. It's just not my favorite. But it might work for you. And that's it, my friends. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be safe and smart, and I'm wishing you good health.